Hello, Flickering Myth family, and all you DC comic Ooh, I shouldn't say DC Comics. All you Joker stans. That sounds better. My name is EJ, and we have quite the video ahead of us. We are going to be diving into the long-delayed, the controversial, the shocking, the transgressive, the actually somehow powerful and made me feel things. We are talking about the People's Joker. Back in 2022, when I first heard about the People's Joker, I was instantly intrigued by what the hell they could be cooking up. I was confused because it's like in the world of DC, but it's not related to DC Comics in any way, shape, or form. Definitely, they're separating themselves, and I will say it is a pretty easy separation. But if you are a lifelong DC fan, if you love Joker, if you are a queer person, there is going to be a lot in this movie for you to pick up on. As a gay person who has loved DC Comics my entire life, I cannot believe the People's Joker exists. Like, this movie is shocking, it's in your face, it's very punk rock, it's the exact word I can use for it is transgressive, which means it's pushing against the grain, it's doing something completely unheard of, really changing up the ball game. I was intrigued because, again, it is a trans person. It's Vera Drew. She's awesome. She's telling her story of coming out, of figuring herself out as a trans woman, but she's telling it through the Joker lens, which I thought was a very smart way of telling this story. We've seen coming out stories. We've seen parodies. So to mix a parody of the Joker, but with a coming out story at the same time, it is such a weird mix of things, but it works. Is this movie for everyone? No. It is banana cuckoo pants crazy. It is an assault on the senses. It is a lot. Sometimes it looks like it's a Ashaniko hyperpop music video. Sometimes the low budget really does kind of hinder me getting fully into it. But overall, what Vera Drew did here, what this whole cast and crew did with a micro-budget film telling this story, it's insanely impressive. It needs to be, I'm glad it's getting the shot that it is to be kind of in the mainstream, be seen by other people. This is an impressive feat. We don't really see people, one, rebel against a studio, kind of make their own thing, use a popular IP, use something we all know like the Joker and Batman and Gotham, but twist it up in their way. So many filmmakers would be so scared to do a project like this. Vera Drew has probably gone through it in her life, and she said, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a risk, and the risk for me paid off. The People's Joker follows our titular character, Joker, that's all we know them as, and we're following them as they grow up. We're seeing the early days before they come out and the hardships of, one, dealing with a single mother who is a little cuckoo pants crazy, and the things that you internalize. There's moments early on where, what are you doing to me? You're doing this to me, and it's just like, I'm trying to figure out my life, and you're playing victim? I'm the one struggling here. So, you see these early moments in Joker's life that really shapes her to moving away from home, going to Gotham, which is like 2,000 miles away, and starting a new life there as a potential comedian. She's like in love with a Raj Al Ghul comedian who is controversial, who's shocking, who's running a school funded by Lorne Michaels. Oh my goodness. That is just a complete shit show of a joke telling factory. It's very manufactured. It's very, the Raj Al Ghul character gives me a lot of a Dave Chappelle, like a modern Dave Chappelle, where it's a figure that a lot of people, especially a lot of queer people, a lot of punk rock people, really liked, but now we're seeing modern day Dave Chappelle, and we're like, what happened to what we knew? So that's kind of that character. So Joker's like, look, I don't have a great home life. College isn't working out for me, so she starts an anti-comedy club where it is just a bunch of villains who are coming together attempting to make their own brand of comedy. Joker is, teaming up with the Penguin. I love the actor who played the Penguin. Vera Drew as Joker is like the star of this. She's truly the centerpiece, but the supporting cast is good. Joker's mom, Mr. J, which is another clown that Joker meets, who is a trans person as well, a female to male transition where Joker would be a male to female transition. I know queer people, non-queer people are like, oh, even queer people are like, this is a lot of notes to take care of. But yes, so Joker meets Mr. J and they start a loving relationship, and we're seeing Joker figure out her place in the world, what kind of comedy she wants to tell, where is her point of view. That's something that they keep talking about. You need to talk about real life. You need to talk about what you know. And poor Joker's like, I don't know who I am. So we're seeing her figure out her comedy, her figure out her life, all throw together through this like crazy edited of cartoons, animation. We have what is like live action people. We have toys. Sometimes it feels like standing in for characters, weird CGI characters. All of this world is kind of housing this Joker story, and it's good. Again, it's very much an assault on the senses. It's hard to explain, it's hard to get into, but what I really, it felt earnest. It felt like it was trying to use all this wackiness, but it wasn't just like, look how crazy we are, look at us making fun of DC and that's all we have. There was layers to it. As good parody, as good comedy should be, there was layers. There's conversations to be had, and that's exactly what I wanted from the People's Joker. I didn't just want a mockery of DC, and I didn't want just a trans story. I wanted mocking of DC through a trans story, through this crazy hyper pop lens of filmmaking. All of it's coming together, and it really does work. Surprisingly, it does work though. If you are a longtime DC Comics fans, you're going to get so much in this movie. The coming of age moment of finding out who you are while watching Joel Schumacher's Batman movies, that is an experience a lot of us felt. Loved seeing that there, the Nicole Kidman lines, seeing kind of the mockery of the Joker movie, the Todd Phillips movie, which, God, Todd Phillips' attitude while making that film and the woke culture. So to see this kind of movie, which I would not say The People's Joker is a politically correct movie. This isn't trying to show you like a picture perfect ideal queerness. It is in your face. It is shocking, and that's what I loved, and that's what the Joker was supposed to be doing for its own way. So it was confusing, but I like what this was trying to do of mixing like the Joker story, making fun of it, but telling it through it. So yes, we have Batman Forever, we have the Joker, there's a lot of DC characters sprinkled throughout here. Again, this is really good for lifelong DC fans, especially for those ones in the LGBTQ community. It feels like we're not often catered to in the superhero landscape. For me, I was a big fan of Birds of Prey, which this movie feels like it is so inspired by what that crazy Kathy Yan, Margot Robbie production was. So I love that movie felt like it was for me. And then look at the mainstream rejecting it. So I love that this movie feels like a Birds of Prey, but even more over the top, even more queer, even more explicitly out there. And that's what I needed from that. That's what I needed from Birds of Prey. That's what I needed from Todd Phillips as the Joker. Something out there, something going against the grain, transgressive, trying to shock you, trying to make you feel something. And I didn't get that from Birds of Prey. I didn't really get that from Joker, but I got it from The People's Joker. How did this queer person make a DC comic story better than most of the DC people can? Now, that's going to offend some people, but for me, this was exactly the story I wanted to see told. It's through the DC lens. It's through all this, but it's told so honestly and so earnestly and with a love of DC, but also with a love of just being true to yourself, even if it's as punk rock, aggressive, weird as it is. Stay true to yourself, create what you want to say, and do what you want to do. And that's what this message was. That's what I got out of The People's Joker. Like I said, this movie is an assault on the senses. Is it completely 100% well made? No, it's really rough around the edges, but I can forgive that for, again, how honest and how earnest the story was trying to depict itself. Vera Drew is a filmmaker who I want to see more of now. This is a good start. To me, this is a great demo reel of what you could do with more money. Now I want to see Vera Drew, some producer out there, give this girl some money and make more movies as weird and punk rock as this was. This felt like exactly what I wanted it to be. I knew it was going to be weird, I knew it was going to be strange, but I didn't know it was going to touch my heart as much as it did. That's what you can do. You can do crazy, shocking, weird, over the top, kind of offensive, but you can still be good in the inside and still have a good heart, and that's what this movie is. What did you guys think of my breakdown of The People's Joker? I wish I can get into way more of this, but I am still trying to process everything I saw here. Like, this was a lot. The weird Alex Jones parody stuff, the Lorne Michaels thing, that was crazy. Just a lot is in here. A lot of jokes, a lot of things. I need a couple more watches just to fully process this. But what did you guys think of my review? What do you think of The People's Joker? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and make sure you guys check out this movie when it drops. All right, everyone, let's talk about The People's Joker right down below.